She's leaving! Or, well, maybe she's not. But probably, though, maybe not. Man, I've seen people try to gaslight the public before, but this is some next-level nonsense. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. Welcome back to Tooney Town TV. Thank you for your patience. I was sick for pretty much the entire month of February, which culminated in a short stay at the hospital last week. I'm sorry I wasn't able to keep up with everything during that time, but I'm back, and I'm trying to get back into a regular schedule here. And boy, do we got a lot to catch up on, folks. You know, if Kathleen Kennedy put as much effort into Star Wars as she does into persuading us that she's not getting booted from Lucasfilm, we might not have spent the last decade watching the franchise get slowly dragged through the mud. But here we are. In the latest edition of the Kathleen Kennedy Denial Tour, we got a bombshell from Puck News claiming that she's finally leaving Lucasfilm after years of failure, controversy, and burning through Bob Iger's patience like a pyromaniac at a fireworks factory. It seemed like the long-rumored exit was finally happening. The response from the fans was, well... And then she denied it.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Not in a normal, I'm here to stay kind of way, but in a classic Hollywood doublespeak where she technically admits that she's leaving, but still acts like it's her decision. You see, she's not being fired. She's just gracefully exiting stage left.
This is a lie.
This is a woman who's dodged more career-ending disasters than a Hollywood stuntman on fire, and yet she still thinks we're dumb enough to believe this spin. But here's the thing, her denial isn't actually a denial. The wording is what matters. It's not I'm staying for the long haul, it's not Lucasfilm is my home forever. Instead, she's saying that she's still currently employed and that any reports of her departure are misleading, which means she's leaving. And we all know why. The Star Wars movies are dead in the water at Disney. The Disney Plus era of Star Wars content was also a disaster, culminating in The Acolyte, made by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland, a utter and historic embarrassment.
Ha! Gay!
Bob Iger, a guy not known for good decisions and a guy who's very rarely the good guy in any given situation, has been putting out these fires at every division of Disney, and he's probably sick of Kathleen Kennedy's excuses. The writing isn't just on the wall here, folks. It's carved into it. So let's break it all down. How Kathleen Kennedy is trying to rewrite reality one last time today on Tooney Town TV. All right, here we go. Kathleen Kennedy reportedly leaving Lucasfilm sometime this year, according to the Hollywood Trades. Now, that is the biggest part right here, according to the Hollywood Trades, because, guys, a lot of videos have come out in the past about Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm. I mean, it's a rumor that pops its head up every couple of months. I mean, and these rumors come from on high and they come down from somewhere in the center of the earth. Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm has been a thing that has been on everyone's mind since The Last Jedi came out, and it has been rumored nonstop. Now, the reason why it was worth reporting this time is because it was according to the Hollywood Trades. And because if the Hollywood Trades are running with something, chances are it's a thing that's happening and they got it directly from the studio. So after more than a decade at the helm of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy is reportedly preparing to retire, leaving Lucasfilm by the end of 2025. According to a recent report by Puck, with the Hollywood Reporter soon following suit, Variety did as well. While rumors of her departure have circulated for years, this time it appears to be more than just fan speculation. Yet as fans rejoice over the potential end of what many view as a disastrous tenure, there's a harsh truth that must be acknowledged. Kathleen Kennedy might be leaving Lucasfilm, but the damage she's done will linger on Star Wars for years to come.
Olsen, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it!
So, of course, guys, we don't need to really go through, like, all of the horrible things that she's done. You guys know that. It's been talked about to death. There's Rey, things like Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. We literally wrote an entire song about it here on the channel. I am Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm Ltd. And of course, you know, her failures don't just end at Star Wars. She also ruined Willow. She ruined Indiana Jones, all because of her just ideologically driven agenda that was pushed into everything that Lucasfilm did. Disney acquired Star Wars and Marvel because Disney already owned the market on girl brands. They had the Disney princesses, and that was a thing that was a huge success for them, right? One of the biggest girl brands in the world, if not, outside of Barbie, maybe the biggest girl brand in the world. And so they needed something for boys because originally Disney started up with the pirates and princesses thing. And, boys had pirates and girls had princesses, but boys didn't really like the pirate stuff. So what they did was they ended up trying to rewrite everything by acquiring things like Marvel and Star Wars, long-standing boy brands. That was the name of the game, to kind of corner the market on boy stuff. Well, the problem is they put a bunch of ideologically driven nonsense hacks in charge of these properties, like Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy.
Fools! Idiots! Imbeciles!
Kevin Feige, once actual visionaries like Jon Favreau, Joss Whedon, and the Russos were away from him, went down this path. Kathleen Kennedy went down this path from day one, and they took Marvel and Star Wars and they turned them from being boy-centric brands that girls also enjoyed to being girl-centric brands that nobody enjoys. And, we've seen Star Wars suffer because of it. We've seen Star Wars movies fail at the box office for the first time. We've seen multiple canceled projects under the regime of Kathleen Kennedy. We've seen established IPs like Willow and Indiana Jones completely die, sacrificed on the altar of her DEI ideologically driven agenda. And now it looks like there might finally be a light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, but not so fast, true believer, because Kathleen Kennedy denies retirement rumors in Deadline interview, claims she's not leaving anytime soon. Quote, "I will die making movies."
Son of a bitch!
So this came out like a couple days later. This was a Deadline interview, and my goodness, was this the most sycophantic nonsense drivel I have ever read. I mean, Kennedy insists she's not stepping down, but she does confirm that Disney and Lucasfilm have been working on a succession plan for years, something that would only be necessary if a leadership transition was indeed on the horizon. That's why this is so ridiculous. She's very defiant. She's trying to own the narrative. Okay. Now, this Deadline report was written by a gentleman named Mike Fleming Jr. And so, but by all accounts, this guy is just, up Hollywood's behind. And it looks like Kennedy kind of went into business for herself here. So let's take a look at her response. So she was quick to dismiss the growing speculation about her retirement, telling Fleming Jr. that the truth is, and I just want to say loud and clear, I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. Very defiant, very angry. We don't usually hear from Kathleen Kennedy, and the fact that she did this big, huge interview just shows that this really burned her butt.
Shields up.
Because by all accounts, Kathleen Kennedy is a human being that is obsessed with legacy. She's obsessed with the legacy that she leaves behind, which honestly, in the eyes of the fans, is just nothing. She's left nothing behind, nothing but failure, and miserable failure at that. The woman took the most evergreen IP that's ever existed and, destroyed it. So when she was asked about chaos and Lucasfilm behind the scenes, according to the transition, she took issue with the idea that the studio could be in any state of turmoil. And she said, "No, chaos. There's never been any chaos because we know exactly what the plan is."
I have never heard so many lies in my entire life other than when I was saying them.
So that statement, of course, flies in the face of a lot of well-documented production woes in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. We know that there's been a lot of chaos behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. So her comments also reveal a bunch of contradictions that raise more questions than they answer. She admits that she's been in discussions with Disney CEO Bob Iger and studio head Alan Bergman about a transition plan for years. She confirms that an announcement about Lucasfilm's leadership will be made months or years down the road, and acknowledges that she is actively involved in choosing a successor and has been in lockstep with Disney in the matter. So in other words, she's trying to make it sound like this was entirely her idea. Kathleen Kennedy is the one in charge of Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm. That is what she wants you guys to believe because it's what she needs you guys to believe. So if the exit isn't happening, why is there already a plan in place? She also doubles down on her control of the succession process by saying it's my decision. This is 100% my decision.
You're a liar!
And so she's trying to get in front of any kind of rumor that she's being pushed out the door, but there's no way she's not being pushed out the door. Obviously, it sounds confident, but in a corporate structure as large as Disney, no executive is in full control of their own exit except for like maybe Bob Iger. It's a publicly traded company with shareholders to answer to, and Iger's already signaled that Lucasfilm's performance needs improvement. So Kathleen Kennedy may claim that she's not going anywhere, but the fact that succession planning is already underway tells a completely different story that points to an eventual retirement. Or, and that's the thing, retirement as the studio head of Lucasfilm. That's the thing. It's retirement from running the studio, not retirement from producing. She could produce all she wants, guys. Producers don't do crap. They sit there and they put their names down on the thing and they get paid money. That's what a lot of producers do anyway. I'm sure a bunch of other ones do a lot of really great work. But Kathleen Kennedy, I mean, look, we have heard repeatedly what Steven Spielberg has said about her contributions to the creative process.
Kathy came into the room with her steno pad and her pencil, and she was horrible at taking notes, and she was terrible, and she didn't really know how to do it very well. But what she did know how to do was interrupt somebody in mid-sentence. We'd be pitching ideas back and forth, and Kathy, who's supposed to be writing these ideas down, suddenly put her pencil down and would say something like, and what if he didn't get the girl, but instead he got the dog?
So I'm okay with Kathleen Kennedy's name being on things from a production standpoint, because she's probably not going to do anything. She won't be in charge of the production. She won't be the head of the studio anymore. It means we can get people that are qualified or knowledgeable instead of insane activists like Leslie Headland. So why did Deadline publish this now? The tone of Deadline's interview is notable for how aggressively it pushes back on the reports from Puck and other Hollywood trades. The opening lines attack Puck's Matt Belloni, accusing him of being on a personal crusade against Kennedy and mocking those speculating about her successor. The defensive posture raises a key question. Was this interview an independent journalistic piece, or was it orchestrated as damage control by Lucasfilm's PR team, and specifically by Kathleen Kennedy's PR team? Because CNN also ran with the story saying that Kennedy was out the door, or that Kennedy was not out the door. I'm sorry, that she was staying and that there was nothing there right now. And it came out in an interview with Matt Belloni that those quotes came directly from Kennedy's personal PR representative. So here's my theory on the situation. Puck is not running with a Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm rumor unless it has been confirmed by Disney, unless somebody in the Disney Corporation has said to Matt Belloni, okay, we're doing this. She's out. Let's get it out there so that people can actually start getting positive about this. I think Kathleen Kennedy heard this probably for the first time when it was published that, it was getting out there to the public that she's being pushed out. And she felt the need to get in front of the situation.
I am assuming direct control.
And this is only my theory here, guys. I obviously don't have any inside sources within Lucasfilm, but it sounds to me like she fired back with a friendly journalist from Deadline who was willing to push her narrative. So it seems a lot like this could be Kennedy versus Bob Iger. It could be, they basically, guys, that is the movie equivalent of Freddy versus Jason. No matter who wins, we all lose. But the best scenario would be they both leave, but that's not going to happen. So we got to take whatever little victories we can get. So there you have it, guys. So she says she's not leaving, but in the same breath also states that she's leaving. So that pops the question, is she leaving? Yes. I mean, clearly, we heard she's leaving. She claims she's leaving. She's trying to control the situation and claim that it's her choice. But guys, at the end of the day, if you have half a brain, you can see through what's going on here at Lucasfilm. The era of Kathleen Kennedy should be coming to a close, or as we like to call it here, the Galactic Empire. Meow, 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 meow. Sorry, I haven't done that one in a while. But anyway, I won't be able to do that when she's gone. You know what? There will be some things that I will miss about Kathleen Kennedy, I guess. But anyway, what do you guys think? Is she on her way out the door? Am I just grasping at straws? What do you think about my theory about, Iger and Kennedy using Puck and Deadline as kind of their proxies in this battle against each other? Sound off in the comments below and let me know. As you just heard, Kathleen Kennedy is trying to have it both ways. Puck's sources say that she's out, but she's pretending like she's choosing to leave on her own terms. It's like watching a kid insist that they meant to trip over their own shoelaces. It'd be funny if it weren't pathetic. The reality is, Kennedy has been a disaster for Lucasfilm since the very beginning. Every failed project, every canceled movie, every box office embarrassment under her watch has led to this moment. Let's not forget, this is the woman who, when asked about Star Wars not having books to pull from, famously said, we don't have 800-page novels that we can draw from. Because, yeah, apparently the Thrawn trilogy, Knights of the Old Republic, and the entire expanded universe don't exist. But now, it It's over. It might finally be over. Disney knows it, Bob Iger knows it, and she knows it, which is why she's scrambling to control the narrative.
I'm good.
And don't get this mixed up, folks. She's not leaving because she wants to. She's leaving because she has to. The question, though, remains, is it too late? Has Star Wars been irreparably damaged by this absolute hack? By the lady who used to get Steven Spielberg's coffee, who for some reason everyone suddenly thought could run a major studio? Imbeciles! So while she's off Googling herself to see if anyone still cares, we'll all be here watching as the Kathleen Kennedy era of Star Wars finally comes to an end.
Thanks for joining us today, and a special thanks goes out to our Tooney Town TV channel members. You guys are the heart and soul of this channel, and for that we thank you with exclusive content like Crime and Punishment, our true crime podcast hosted by myself and Trish, and our members-only live stream on Mondays at 3 p.m. EST. So if you are not a member of the Tooney Town TV channel, join today. Oh, and make sure you're joining us Thursday nights live at 8 p.m. EST for Tooney Talk TV, our live stream pop culture podcast where you can interact with me directly and make your voices heard as a part of the Tooney Town community.
If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooney Town channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!